Oh, oh, Trixie, why did I decide to do our annual New Year's shopping trip a few days early? Oh,
Because you want to get ahead of the crowd. Uh, Give Trixie a nice pack and start the show.
show? What show? Oh, hello. Welcome to Fandom Fridays, where you proceed to check out the, you know by now. Give me a few moments. I decided to do some of my New Year's shopping this early this year because I figured I wasn't going to have a chance to do any of it on Sunday. You know how it is living in the Bible Belt. Well, another year, another time to begin our annual tradition. That's right. It's time to look up all those lovely little fanfics created by the one, the only Linkara. But this time I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to do anything from a Sailor Moon T uh, continuation. Oh, no. You see, he's also got two other fanfics on his site for two other fandoms. One is from a Gundam, and the other is from Neon Genesis Evagaleion. I'm sorry, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yep, that's right. It seems our favorite fedora-wearing badass crafted an Evangelion continuation fic. And after sitting through the ending of Escaflowne, beware, you will scream incoherently at it. I think the best way to wrap up this year is with a way of continuation of something I understand when you hate an ending. So, without further ado, here's Linkara's Evangelion Tribulations After. Enjoy. Evangelion Tribulations After by Cyreal. Chapter 1 Aftermath. Wake up, Shinji. Wake up, Shinji. Shinji slowly released his grip on Asuka. Wake up, Shinji. Shinji collapsed onto the ground next to Asuka. Wake up, Shinji. I feel sick. Wake up, Shinji! And Shinji opened his eyes. Standing over him was a boy with white hair. He was just a little taller than Shinji, and obviously had been shaking Shinji in an attempt to rouse him. White hair... Probably effeminate. I'm going to place money on villain. I know, it sounds wrong of me to say every time I see a boy with pale white hair is a villain in almost any anime, but, well, considering the fact that the last one that's actually good that I can think of off the top of my head is Inuyasha, yeah, I'm starting to not trust them. About time you woke up, idiot. Susie could only stare wide-eyed at the person standing over him. His mind tried to race to find comprehension in the last few hours. He had just been through the philosophical discussion of the millennium. It was revealed that he and Asuka were the only two humans left on Earth, and he would have to restart the human race. So, who was this guy? Pop! Zip! Well, I'm going to get to work. Who am I? Name's not important. You read my thoughts. No doubt, moron. By the way, this is only a dream. This never happened. Shinji woke up in bed. His forehead was covered in a light sweat as he realized he was in bed of his home. He had no idea how he got there, or what the dream he had meant. I'm going to say this next line, but I hope you'll forgive me for what I'm about to add. Had it all been a dream? Or maybe a vision? No, it was real. Had Third Impact been just a dream? Wanting answers, Shinji got out of his bed and put on a pair of sweatpants. He opened the door to his room and walked out to see Masato having a morning beer. She turned and saw Shinji standing there. Hey, Shinji. You really need to set the alarm of yours. First time I get a vacation day and in my sleeping, I never noticed you not going to school. Asuka's already left, as he said, getting up. Masato, but you're...
Okay, okay, I know you don't like Shinji. I know you wish that he was replaced with Armor Ray. But could you please try to respect the guy?
Alright. Just this once. Only because I'm trying to get over my shopping hangover. Masato walked close to him and hugged him. In his ear, she whispered, "Meet me at the entranceway to Nerve. Bring Ray if you can find her." "But—" "Do it," she commanded. Sissy sat in his classroom like he had done it 100 times. He ignored the repetitive babblings of his teacher and looked all around him. Ayame was in her usual seat, looking out a window, eyes still wide with surprise. But Sissy didn't know what she was surprised about. Asuka looked like she was about to tease a tense Senshi as she fiddled around with her pencil and chewed on it as well. Everyone else just listened on to the dronings of their teacher. Sissy's mind was going about a mile a minute, searching every possibility in his mind for how he had survived the third impact, or how everyone else had. Most of his conversations in his mind had been trying to accept life and to love himself and not hate himself, and yet he could find no self-worth even after all that. The only thing that made his life worthwhile was piloting Ava, and he might not even exist here. And once, when everyone was outside, Asuka and Sissy stood in front of Ray, but not looking at her. Ray sat on the bench, not even bothering to read her book. Asuka and Sissy stared at each other. They each thinking the exact same thing. Finally, they lifted to each other's arms and hugged.
I'm scared, Shinji. I've never been so scared,
she cried.
I know, Asuka. I'm scared too. Maybe we should talk about the third. No. Misato told me not to talk about it till we met her. I think she thinks we're being watched. But God, I have that feeling all the time now. It's okay, Asuka. I won't let anything happen to you. Either of you,
Sissy said, looking at Ray, who, as we all know, is the something of his mother. Ray said nothing. Tears coming down her red eyes were enough.
Something's definitely changed,
Ray said as he walked towards the Nerve HQ.
I don't see how. We just survived third impact, watched the world get devastated, saw the human race recreated in the blink of an eye, saw the world reborn, and no one but those of us at Nerve seem to have any knowledge of it. Can't see how anything could have changed.
Asuka growled.
I'm sorry, but I can feel it.
In the air tonight.
The way people talk.
They can't walk, but the only way is to... Oh, sorry.
The way they breathe. Something about this is very wrong,
Ray said, pulling back, still looking like she was going to fall down and cry.
Asuka noticed it too. I'm sorry, Ray. This has just been really stressful for me. I never truly got over my mother's death. She killed a doll and thought the doll was me. It's why I hate dolls so much. It's why I hate you so much.
God, these psychological implications are staggering in Ava. Swear, where are all the psychologists in this show?
I'm not a doll, Ray snarled. Sure could have fooled me. All you ever did was exactly what you were told, regardless of your own personal feelings,
Asuka said. Ray stopped to turn Asuka to face her. She held her by her shoulders and looked into her eyes.
Do you know what happened to cause me to merge with Lilith?
She asked, quietly. Please tell me there's gonna be some lesbian action. Asuka shook her head, eager to learn what she was talking about.
Shinji's father wanted to merge with Lilith. It followed the human race to what he thought was the next stage. But I felt Shinji. I felt his pain caused by the beginning of the third impact. I was sick and tired of taking orders from a man who used me like a doll. And that is why you never, ever call me a doll again.
Ayame whispered in her ear. Sorry, calling somebody a doll just makes me think of a Mobile Suit Team, which is, of course, an anime I rather watch than Ava. Asuka nodded her head, comprehensive what she was saying. Ray walked away from her.
Now, let's go meet Masato. She must have something to say to us.
They all continued without further conversation. Since he stopped trying to come up with guesses as to the reason all this was happening, thought of everything he had learned while nearly creating the third impact. Finally, they reached Masao, who stood against the wall with her eyes closed. As they approached, she opened her eyes and raised the gun at them quickly. Seeing it was them, she lowered the gun. Finally, we need to talk. Tell us about it, Cincy said. Obviously, something has gone really wrong. Last thing I remember was kissing Shinji and then dying, Masao says. I know. This is just, Shinji started to say. Wait a minute, you kissed him? A disgusted Asuka said. Yes, I never thought I'd see him again, so. Ugh, that has to be the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. You, of all people, kissing Wonder Boy over here? Asuka, you're really getting off the point here, Shinji said. Standing up for your lover now, hey, Shinji? Asuka asked, grinning up. I am, Shinji stirred. We don't have time to worry about who kissed who, or what kid at school is hot, or who's ugly. We need to find out what the hell happened, Ray exclaimed. Keep your voice down, Masao whispered. Why? Why did we meet in secret? Shinji asked. Because whoever's responsible for undoing the third impact might be smiling on us. Something's happened, and it's big. Well, you see, just as soon as third impact happened, somebody used to bail it. Masao explained. Of course it's big. Everyone looked around themselves to see where the voice had come from. And it just popped out of nowhere. And then a male voice, around the age of 14, 16, and slightly deep. Linkara, please tell me you're not about to do a self-insert! Who are you? Asuka demanded. The hand that rocks the cradle. The cradle of love! What's that supposed to mean? Do you mean someone manipulated us? Shinji asked. Yeah, I just like that movie. The hand that rocks the cradle. Where are you? Ray asked, squinting to look into the shadows to see if there was someone hiding. I believe the actual question is, where are you going? No, it's not. The question is, where are you? Masato points, pointing at the gun in multiple directions. I thought the question was, who are you? Or perhaps, what do you want? Or maybe, why are you here? No, please. Not a Babylon 5 reference. Don't make me stop wanting to watch something more awesome than Eva can ever hope to be. What are you talking about? Shinji asked. Haven't you people seen any 20th century TV? Babylon 5, one of the best shows on television. Hell yeah! Although the 5th season sort of screwed it over. 1/5 season. Stupid turn network television. Show yourself, Misato demanded, ready to pull the trigger at a moment's notice. Oh, can't I be all mysterious and stuff? It's a lot more fun. Damn it! Show yourself! Misato screamed. Well, since you asked so nicely. Out of a completely illuminated wall, the boy from Shinji's early experience walked over to him, a smug expression on his face. Shinji recognized him immediately. It was too dazed to understand what's happening. Hello, he said, still looking chipper. Misato raised her gun to meet the boy's face. He continued to smile, even as Misato pulled the trigger from an unconscious urge to do so. The boy fell back to the ground, a small hole in his forehead. His smile faded immediately. You killed him! Why? Asuka demanded. Ow! Everyone looked down at the corpse. It was now holding its head in pain. He got up. He walked over to Misato, bullet hole now gone, and went right in front of her face. Has anyone ever told you, he whispered, that you have a serious anger management problem? He continued, shouting. Okay. That was hilarious. Misato dropped the gun to the ground, not comprehending how he could survive. Even Ray was stunned at this boy who just survived a bullet point blank to his head. That just gave me an effing migraine. How would you like it if I put a gun to your head and shot you? Misato's eyes slowly began to wire as the boy put the gun a foot away to Misato's head. The others were too shocked to respond. Misato closed her eyes, and he pulled the trigger. A small flag with the word "bang" on it appeared. Okay, are we sure this isn't Q? Maybe I should start reading it in Q's voice. Jeez, you have no sense of humor. He spun the flag around as he shook his hand and danced around in a circle. Masato slowly got up and walked over to the others. Who are you? Cincy asked. Not my time to say, he replied. Who are you? Asuka repeats. The boy thought for a moment. Then snapped his fingers and replied. Who decides that the toast lands better side down every time? Who decides that red means stop and green means go? Who decides the workday is from 9 to 5 instead of 11 to 4? Who decides that hemlines will be below the knee this year and short again the next year? Who draws out the borders, controls the currency, handles all those little decisions that happen transparently around us? I don't know, Sissy replies. Correct. I'm with them. Same group, different department, and I'm here to help you, he said. Well, if you could tell us what's happened, that would be a great help. I'm not really allowed to tell you straight out, but the Lord truly, you must say the eye that does not see, he implies. The eye that does not see? What the hell's that supposed to mean? Oscar demands, ready to strangle the boy. You must not kill the one who is already dead, he said, sensing Oscar's anger. We don't understand, Sissy sighed. Understanding is a three-edged sword, he said gratefully. Sissy had enough. He walked over to the boy and smashed his fist into his nose. The others were taken aback by this un-Sissy-like thing to do. The boy walked back, holding a bleeding nose, who yelled, Ow! What the hell did you do that for, Kari? I am sick and tired of this! You people never give me a straight air! It's always some stupid, cryptic metaphor that we can't answer. It happens in my mind, it happens out here, and now I want to know just what the hell you're talking about! Oh my god. Shinji got bars! Boy's noticeably disappears. He pushes Shinji into a wall and stands a foot away from him. You want answers? Fine. This isn't real. Everything that's been happening in the past 36 hours has been a lie. You're all laying in a sea lab without trying to find out the secret behind creating the third impact, and then pumping you all up with psychotropic drugs. None of this is real. There was no third impact. Ray never made herself Lilith, and you people are all under the experiment that will doom mankind. Gum. The boy held out a piece of bubblegum to Shinji. You know, it's hard for me to try and hate some of Linkara's OCs. It really is. I'm trying my best. This guy might be a Gary Stew for all I know in the end, but good golly, Linkara doesn't know how to make them likable. Aftermath Part 2. There is no spoon. A fake! Sissy asked, ignoring the place of gum the boy offered him. Sissy, take the freaking gum. Yes, Shinji and Kari. Seal plugged you for Risco and a few other nerve personnel into a cybernetic web where you're all sharing the same dreamlike experience. They've injected a large amount of psychopathic drugs into all of you, creating the illusions you see all around you. What they want is the secret behind creating the third impact, the boy said, withdrawing the gum into his pants pocket. But that doesn't make sense. We don't know how to cause the third impact, Oscar exclaimed. They think you do, and you've just proven it. 36 hours ago, each of you was taken from wherever you were at the time and loaded into the cybernet. Within each of your minds held a small piece of creating the third impact. What they did not expect was that within your own minds, you three's psychological trauma would each be restored in different ways. The boy said, pointing to Shinji, Asuka, and Ray. The boy walked over to Asuka. You, Asuka Langley, were in a state of mental collapse after your mind rape with the 15th angel, your fear of dolls, etc. However, the soul of Ava Unit 2, your mother's soul, reached out from its cage of nerve and touched your mind, giving you the strength you needed. Asuka snapped her fingers and pointed at him.
I knew you. I felt your presence before, when the angel first mind raped me. I wanted to surrender and have it collapse my mind. But there was something there, in the back of my mind, and telling me never to lose faith. That was your voice! The boy took a bow and walked over to Ray. Ray Ayame, you are a unique being. You are a clone above Sensei and Kari's mother's DNA and the DNA of Lilith, virtually making you half angel. That is why Karu said you two were similar, he being the 17th angel. But you are unique for another reason. Your soul is transferable. Every time you died, first by the hand of Risco's mother, then by self-destructing Ava 00, your soul would jump to the next clone process. However, your soul was so unstable every time you piloted Ava Unit 00, your soul jumped into it to power it. Your soul, for the first time, did not realize what was happening, and that is why Ava Unit 00 went berserk on its first test. Also, without any soul to strengthen your willpower, you would only do what was commanded. With one stroke, I ended this soul jumping. The boy snapped his fingers. Ray collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. Shizzy ran over to her. Are you all right? He asked. Yes, she said, beginning to smile. Never felt better in your life. I just locked your soul into that body. It means you won't be able to pilot an Ava anymore, but your willpower has now increased by 78%. Only 78%? That sounds like a weird number. Why only 78%, mysterious God? You can make conscious decisions, and your fear of failure has nearly been removed. Heck, you may return to Asuka. The boy said. Oh, and by the way, Yang's arm is restored. Pure is alive now, and oh yeah, he told me he's now back together with Vaughn. Hey! Asuka said her resentment. You know what? I know you too. Your presence is familiar. Hey, when my Ava first went berserk, I was almost thrust clean out of the seat and into the front. The problem was the impact probably would have fractured my skull. But then I felt a force holding me down, almost holding on to me. Was that you? Ray asked, examining the boy closely. The boy nodded and smiled. He turned to Shinji, who stood with a blank expression on his face at the boy. And there was one. You, Shinji, are most unique. You've had, on several occasions, the chance to move on and be happy. But your ties to your friends and loyalty to the human race have prevailed. I'm scum, that's all I am, Shinji said, staring at the ground. The boy rolled his eyes and whacked Shinji on the side of his head. Would you just get over it, Captain Pessimist? So life's not perfect. The world is a horrible place, and you were used once again. Get over it already! The god speaks for us all! I like him. Can we keep him, please? If life were fair, this wouldn't happen, Shinji said, looking at his hands now. The boy thought for a moment and kneeled down to Shinji's level. Can you imagine what life would be like if it were fair and all the terrible things that happened to us came because we deserved them? He said. Shinji examined with care what he just said. I take great comfort in the general hostility and unfairness of the universe. You should too, the boy said. Well, not exactly the self-esteem build I wanted, but it's good. Hey, I know you too. When I was absorbed by an angel once, I could almost feel someone taking me around, telling me to snap out of my delusions and save the world. Shinji replied, okay, so I've got a betting pool on who this guy is. We got Q. Ding! We have Amara Ray. Ding! We have Bright. Ding! Yes, because I think a bright slap will cure anybody of any delusions. And last but not least, ding! Osmond. Ah, you remember me, the boy said, smiling. Both stood up and shook hands. Sal walked over to the boy. Well, kid, what kind of words of divine wisdom do you have for me? She asked. The boy smiled and said, Kaji was murdered by Seal because he got too close to the truth of the Human Instrumentality Project. Hip?
Sal's face turned green. It was Seal? She asked. I think that's Sale. Really? Bloop! Oh, yeah. Well, it's pretty obvious when you think about it, the boy says. And what is the truth of the Human Instrumentality Project, Mr. Wizard? Oscar asks. To create the third impact, which would involve the human beings in the next stage of life beyond the comprehension of the human mind and soul. The boy said, well, isn't that a good thing? Human race would evolve as a whole to create a unified future without war, death, or hatred, Cincy suggested. The boy was suddenly holding Cincy up then without any notice of how he moved or anyone seeing it, he shoved Cincy into a wall and screamed, creating an artificial third impact is the last thing you want to do! There were 17 angels sent to judge mankind, the 18th for their right to evolve to a saved being. You failed! You prove yourselves to be a brutal, utterly hostile race, which will do nothing but destroy any living creature you encounter, and possibly reach the other. The judgment of angels is that in 100,000 to a million years you will be ready, not a second before. If Sele initiates a third impact, the human race will be nothing but a purple LCL, and their souls will be brought to a purgatory until their real time of evolution. However, no one has survived purgatory for more than 2,000 years, easily begging Satan to bring them out of it after the first 100 years or so. So, unless you want the human race to become a yellow, translucent goo on the floor of Nerve HQ, I suggest you stop thinking that the third impact is a good thing! I get the picture, Dizzy says. The boy let him down. Everybody, this is my new favorite character in this whole entire thing.
Alright, but what do we do about it? Unless you haven't noticed, we're standing here in our minds, with no clue as how to escape,
Misao reminds him. There's an old saying that comes to mind. Memory is key, the boy says.
Every lock has a key?
Ray asks. Actually, the phrase is, there is no spoon. The boy corrects. Sorry? I had Matrix flashbacks. The four of them gave him very confused looks. The boy rolled his eyes and explained. Back in the good old days, before the second impact, a movie came out called The Matrix. It said that the life we live in was actually a neural simulation called The Matrix. Machines we had created were draining our very life, and only a handful of people outside the Matrix knew. A group of children within the Matrix had become aware, but were still connected. They learned a way to bend a few parts of the Matrix for their own needs, like for example, becoming psychic or telekinetic. The whole thing with bending spoons is actually just someone in the Matrix realizing it's only a simulation, that there is no spoon. Realizing and understanding this, they bend and twist the spoon in any way they wish. So, we must know that this is a simulation. Then he held up a hard spoon, and there is no spoon. And exactly what are we supposed to do when we wake up? We need a plan. They're not just going to give us some milk and cookies and a pat on the back for waking up and revealing a secret. Masao said, that's where Ray comes in. Ray, being part angel, could generate an AT field. The dummy plugs for Ava's haven't been fully installed yet, so we have to move quickly. Ray, I want you to keep thinking that this is not real. Wake up first, and show those Sele troops the one thing about being human that makes people afraid of being human, the boy commands. Ray nods and closes her eyes. After 15 seconds, he disappears from the group completely. And what is that? Asuka asked. The ability to die. The boy scowled. Ray opened her eyes and activated the AT field. The technology on her forehead connected it to her system and disintegrated immediately. And all the scientists working suddenly had their lives flash before their eyes as the AT field ran to them and annihilated them. This is all starting to sound very familiar. Does anybody care to play Ave Maria while she's doing this? Oh, thank you. A little Evan Lee joke never hurt anyone. The blade remained splattered against the walls, erasing the patterns of red and white as the bones slammed into the walls were crusted of power. Ray slammed her fist through the glass, covering everything around her, and the LCL in the tank she was in leaked down as she punched and kicked the covering to let her out, invading pieces of broken glass on the ground. Since he slowly opened his eyes and felt the cybernetic wires plug into his head. He yelped and reached out to pull them out of his face, but Ray grabbed his hands and touched him. She slowly pulled the wires out. Shichi calmed and walked out of the tube. The two revived Asuka and Masato, both still dripping from the LCL fluids.
Well, what are we supposed to do now? They're bound to know what we've done by now,
Asuka said. We must strike back, hard and fast, said the boys to the boy. The four of them looked around to see the boy walking through a wall and approaching them.
Who are you, anyway?
Masato asked. I said it once and I'll say it again. The time is not right. There are still other nerve personnel plugged into these cybernet interface nets. They haven't been moved because they weren't deemed important enough as you were. Find them, disconnect them, and explain the situation to them. Now, do you want to take Sele or not? The boy asked.
Question, if Gendo Ikari happens to be connected to one of those suits, can we go kill him?
Yell nod.
We'll contact my father. No. X-Day!
Tell the scramble, Sensei started to say. Your father, interrupted the boy, has gone into hiding. The second reason Sele did this to you is because he wanted to find out if you knew anything about your father's disappearance.
What are we going to do now? Ray asked.
Sele will undoubtedly try to do as they did in your dream. Create falsified records of Nerve preparing to create third impact. We're going to beat into the punch, the boy says with an evil grin.
Meaning?
Let's get everyone awake. Power up the Avas. By the way, I've added some improvements to the 3 operating ones, the boy said.
3. Unit 00 exploded.
Ray reminded him. Who says I was talking about Unit 00? The scene is a dark and empty room. Oh, you were doing so good, but then you had to ruin it with that line. One by one, the 12 lights shined back down to monoliths. Each one is numbered Sele 1 through 12. Through a holographic interface, they all now saw each other, and a holographic view screen and showing news scenes. We've just received confirmation of this news report. Sele 03 sounded. The mute sound of the news report suddenly flared on, and the mail report told the situation. This news feed leaked from Nerve shows it tells of a pilot behind a secret organization known as Sele to initiate the third impact, was to render all life on this planet to a so-called state of evolution higher than our current status. However, these have been interpreted as the words of fanatic groups who believe that the world will evolve through means of a third impact. JSDF forces have already been dispatched along the somewhat legendary Eva Units 1 and 2. This has also been reported that Sele intends to use drugs and cybernetic techniques to torture the Eva pilots for information regarding the third impact. But fought back enough to stop the pilot. All the authorities in the area are headed for the location known only to Nerve and military forces, where it's believed Sele's meeting place and HQ is located. We will continue live coverage of this broadcast as it occurs. This is true. Long-range Ferreira reports have confirmed the approach of the Avas and a large armada of JSSDF troops, along with military crews from China, Germany, and air units from America and Great Britain. Sele Unit 12 reports. There's no more time left to analyze our findings. Release Avas 5 through 13 to hold off the attack, and have them only disable Units 1 and 2. Both may prove useful in... Sele 1 never finished his sentence, but the holographic view screen suddenly flickered and changed. The image of the mysterious boy now appeared on screen. He looked as if he had been watching this entire time. Well, aren't you all just the party poopers? Papa Spank, the boy says with the obvious glee. Oh, God, he is such an overpowered, perfect God character. Why do I hate him? Darn it, why can't I hate him? The Sele members did not recognize the boy, nor had any idea what he was talking about. All of a sudden, the building around them began to shake and tremble. They'll be one of Uncle Sam's long-range cruise missiles. Disable your weapons grid that's attached to your installation. All you have left is your precious Evangelions. By the way, we have plenty of those too. Duh! He shouted, and it was blanked out. Large, 1-foot bullets were loaded into the auto machine gun outside the Sele HQ, and fired in rapid quantities at the two JSSDF bombers in Ava Unit 1. One of the bombers vaporized from a hit on their fuel line, and the other had wing damage, so it pulled back. The bullets bounced harmlessly off of Unit 1. The Jester was returned with Unit 1, opening a barrage of bullets from his giant automatic rifle in his hands to the turret, slicing it to 3 pieces.
So, let me get this straight. You
just plugged in an S2 engine into Asuka's Eva. Susie asked the boy on the intercom. Yes, the boy replied. You did this with no former training and no prior knowledge of how to install an S2 engine safely into an Eva. Susie asked. Yes. How did you do that? Do what? How did you do a procedure you didn't know how to do? It's easy when you have 900 years of experience. Hey, Morlon! In case you didn't realize, we have their little Eva pets on their way to attack us, Asuka said, opening up a vid link. Sure enough, Susie went to see the 8 holes in the ground opening up, and white Evas with reptile heads and large wings came flying out of the holes to the sky. Wait a sec. There are only 8 of them. Where's the 9th? Ray asked from a troop carrier. Doesn't matter. We should be able to handle these things easily, right? Asuka, you took them out alone, Susie said. Doesn't matter. We should be able to handle these things easily, right, Asuka? You took them out alone? That was when it was a dream, Shinji. Now this is a real world. Not some illusion brought on by drugs. Boy, kid, dream guy, whatever you want to call yourself. We need you, Asuka said. The boy tightened his grip on the control levers. He answered, We're there. The boy was piloting an Eva. It was white. It was flying thanks to 2 large jetpacks on its shoulders. Its head was similarly shaped to O2, but it only had 2 eyes. It had a few scorch marks on it, like it had been an explosion, but it had marks on it, mostly saying Eva Unit 4. Any Eva fans who are reading this with me, is this one of those things that happen with Battling Done OCs that you guys have random Eva unit of the day or something like that? Because I am really, really curious about this because this sounds like something you guys had to deal with. In which case, speaking as a Sailor Moon fan, I am sorry. The boy tightened his grip on the control levers. He answered, We are there. The boy was piloting an Eva. It was white and flying wait a minute, I just read this! Rather, were 2 heavy-class military helicopters. Long-range tactical jets flew past them, relatively small missiles at the installation, taking out 2 military garages and an unpowered missile turret. So, tell me again how you found O4. I thought it exploded. Explosives are a funny thing. They can blow something apart, or they can send something someplace else. When the S2 engine was being loaded into the Eva, they realized that someone had done a flimsy job of putting on the sealant to catch the explosive fuel content in the engine. Before they could repair it, the fuel exploded, creating a big enough blast to wipe out the entire base. The Eva, however, survived. The explosion destroyed the base, but was powerful enough to send the Eva out of the normal space-time continuum, however badly damaged. I, however, having the ability to transfer space-time temporal anomalies at different levels of consciousness, detected it, and managed to use telekinetic and heavenly forces to repair or restore a space-time anomaly that... The boy stopped when he noticed the 3 Eva pilots just staring at him in confusion. Never mind. I want to hate these overpowered characters so much, but gosh darn it, Linkara is not making him likable. Alright, troops, here's the plan. Taser ground unit forces invade Evas and proceed straight for enemy HQ. I want prisoners taken. Kill only when absolutely necessary. And sailing council are to be taken alive. Air attack vessels, fire a couple of shots at the Evas on your way to the HQ to distract them. But do not openly engage the Evas in full combat. Sissy, Asuka, the Evas are ours. All other units, break and attack! With that command, the troops launched a full-scale assault on the Sailing HQ. About 12 sets fired their homing pistols at the Evas as they passed them, as well as helicopters sending barrages of bullets at them. The 8 Evas ignored the assaults by the air units and went straight for units 1, 2, and 4. Looks like it's 3 to 2. Hey kid, you'll take 2, I'll take 3. Captain Amazement and Unit 1 will take 3 as well, Asuka suggests. Roger that, Flamingo Inferno, the boy said, smiling. What did you call? Asuka shouted as the boy shut off the intercom. Unit 4 ran straight towards the nearest Eva. The marking said Unit 8 on it. The boy smiled as he pulled his progressive knife from the sheath on Unit 04's nave. Unit 8 pulled out its double-lanced weapon and prepared to block as Unit 4 continued to run at it. As Unit 4 prepared to strike down, Unit 8 rose, weapon to block. But Unit 4 leapt into the air, and the jets on his shoulders kicked straight in. It flew straight at Unit 8 and rose up a little. was progressive knife aimed right down. Increasing speed, the Ava continued to fly with preparation for a somewhat difficult move. 04 until it sliced through the lance weapon, cutting it straight through it in half. But Unit 4 didn't stop there. As soon as it was done with the weapon, Unit 4 used the progressive knife to cut straight through the AT field into Unit 8 and then cut through its head. The Ava collapsed onto the ground with two halves of its head now flying to the ground, licking fuel in a blood-like substance. Seeing his companion fall, Unit 6 ran right at Unit 4. The boy made the Eva turn around and deactivate its flight jets. The Eva landed on the ground gracefully, and Unit 4 threw its progressive knife straight at Unit 6. Unit 6 leapt to the air to evade the attack, but was too slow. The knife hit his lower leg. Unit 6 slammed face first to the ground in pain. It grabbed onto its leg with one free hand and braced itself on the ground with its weapon. Unit 4 ran over as Unit 6 raised his weapon to counter it. Unit 4, however, kicked the lance out of his hand and picked it up in midair. Unit 6 punched Unit 4 in the stomach. Unit 4 pulled its progressive knife out of the Ava's leg and sliced the hand clean off. Unit 6 held its stump of an arm to its stomach, and Unit 4 used the weapon of Unit 6 to slice to its back, pulled to its left, chopping its head off. Unit 12 came running at Unit 4, but stopped by Unit 2. Unit 12 was pinned to the ground as Asuka yelled and used her Ava's arm to rip the back of Unit 12's neck, pull out the dummy plug. Unit 12's arms were flailing wildly, trying to get Unit 2 off of it. Finally, with two kicks from its hindquarters, the Asuka was bucked off. Unit 12 jumped down, threw its lance at Unit 2. Sensing immense season food for the train when the lance hits turned into the lance of Longinus, Asuka pulled out her progressive knife and blocked the lance approach, caught it with her right hand, put it in front of her, slowly bent the lance in half, and threw it to the side. As he threw her progressive knife at Unit 12, whose head exploded from impact on the knife. Units 9 and 7 came running at Unit 12 from opposite directions. They noticed a pattern in the deaths of the last three Avas and decided a new strategy. Asuka thought for a second, trying to determine what her course of action should be. Both drew their lances, so Unit 2 ran over and grabbed his progressive knife from the back of the head of Unit 12. They were very close now, so Asuka prepared herself by raising her progressive knife in defense, then ran at Avi's leg to kick away the other lance. The plan worked as Unit 9 was struck against Unit 2's knife and Unit 7 was without a weapon. Asuka then grabbed Unit 7 with her free hand by the neck, threw all of her weight into Unit 9. She pulled back as Unit 7's arm was pierced by Unit 9's lance, slammed into it. Unit 7 was pulled away from Unit 9 and nearing at Unit 2, was spun around once and sent his right fist into its face, forcing a powerful blow against his face and knocking it over. Unit 9 raised his lance again and ran at Unit 2, but picked up Unit 7's lance and blocked with it. While blocking with one arm, Unit 2 grabbed out his progressive knife and stabbed right into the general case of the knife, a heart for a human being. The Eva fell back into the ground, its power light signing off, and Asuka stood and smiled for a second, savoring the moment. However, she did see Unit 7 preparing to strike down with his fists, with enough force to the blow to knock Asuka down. However, another lance impaled to its other side, ripping straight through it. Unit 2 turned around and saw Unit 4 holding up the dead body of Unit 7. "I could have taken it," Asuka murmured to the mysterious boy. "Could've, should've, would've, didn't," the boy replies. Unit 1 was aiming its giant rifle at the sky, where its last three Avas had been taken to. He aimed carefully at Unit 5, and carefully piercing its left wing, the Ava fell towards the ground. Unit 1 began to run at it, but the other two Avas flew down and bit into Unit 1's arms and continued to fly, and hurled Unit 1 into the ground. Shinji bumped around inside the entry plug, attempting to get the Ava up again, finally succeeding in getting his knees. The Ava was met with two winged Avas grabbing into its arms and flying him higher this time. Ori thought of how to counter this time. Unit 1 raised his arm with his gun in his hand at the stomach of Unit 11 and fired, cutting clean holes straight through the Ava. He lost his grip and let go of Unit 1 as it yelped in pain and fell to the ground, dying. Now only Unit 10 held on to Unit 1, whose legs were scraping the ground, causing it to low altitude. Unit 1 jumped up and grabbed onto the Ava's back and got on. Unit 1 rose its weapon onto the back of Unit 10's head and pulled the trigger once, sending one bullet into its head. The Ava, with no control of his body, began to fall to the ground. Unit 1 leapt off as Unit 10 fell, its body being mutilated by the ground as it skidded across until finally coming to a stop. Unit 1 got up, and Sissy just breathed, trying to get wind of what he'd just been through. However, Unit 5 slammed his foot into Unit 1's backside and it fell down, face first into the ground. Unit 5 jumped up onto Unit 1's back, prepared to strike down to its lance. However, the lance was hit away as Unit 4's progressive knife sliced through Unit 5's hands. Unit 2 pulled Unit 5 off until Unit 1's punched in the face. Unit 4 put Unit 5 back into a headlock, and Unit 1 got up. Unit 5 struggled as much as it could until Unit 2 restrained its legs. Unit 1 walked over and slid his hands into Ava's chest, digging deeper and deeper, and then closing. Unit 1 pulled his arm out fast, revealing it just ripped out Unit 5's S2 engine. Ava deactivated right afterwards. I want to say I would probably be more engaged into this if I knew what everything looked like, but I have a feeling you Ava fans knew exactly what the heck he was talking about, because I sure didn't! Jeez. Oh, Lahar's in a dream, Oscar pants. Wait a second. Where's the ninth one? Sissy asked. Maybe the system to eject it failed, the boy said. Another vid screen opened up. This time in Masao, he said, Hey gang, we have a little problem back at Nerve. What? Sissy asked. One of Sally's Avas is here. It hasn't made any hostile moves yet. It's just approaching. It has a rather large beam cannon in its arms. Hey, get that back. Hero needs it, Masao explains. The boy understood completely. By the web of dimensions, no. We must get back there immediately. Why? No beam damage can do any serious damage to Nerve, unless it repeats what we did to that one angel, Ray says. Don't you understand? It's going to try to release Lilith! The boy shouts, activating the jets on Unit 4. Ava Unit 13 watched silently, until making it to the one spot several thousand feet above Lilith's chamber. It took aim carefully, and with the cannon in its hands, it set to full power. Immediately, a beam of white energy struck down into the ground, cutting through the layers of dirt and rock until reaching the metal planting for Nerve. It took a lot more time to get through it, but Unit 13 was patient. It would initiate the third impact, wiping out life on the planet Earth. Like hell you will! The boy shouts. See, he was 2 miles away from Unit 13. He's just cleared the 4th layer. He's almost there, Misao reported. Unit 13 saw Ava's approaching. Immediately, it took out its lance and sent it hurriedly towards Unit 4. The boy ignored it, but the lance stuck through its belly and stabbed it to the ground. Unit 13 continued ducking into the ground. Units 1 and 2 were further away from Unit 4. It was trying to pull out the lance, even while the systems began to disconnect everywhere. Finally, Unit 13 cleared the last point as Units 1 and 2 were still a mile away. The Ava let down through the hole, falling for about 3 seconds. They arrived down in the chamber, smashing the dock as it landed. As it landed at his feet in some LCL. It looked at Lilith. It then walked over toward. Lilith didn't even seem to care to look at it, but did so anyway. Unit 13 walked behind the cross, slamming his foot to one side, snapping the wood that was stuck to Lilith, freeing one arm. Repeated the process on the other arm, freeing it entirely. Lilith began to float upwards through the hole that Unit 13 had made. Oh, bloody hell, the boy said. What is with Linkara making his OCs British? I mean, this is the second time! Watching it through the camera from Zava, the boy suddenly activated the ejection entry plug and got out. The 12 Saline members, even with explosives and sparks flying around them, watched as Lilith began to ascend upwards. The program is nearly complete, Saline 1 says, and they will thank us for it. Saline 4 says. The boy could not take it anymore. He was not ready to let everything he had fought for die like this. Units 1 and 2 watched Lilith begin to ascend, but then noticed the boy holding his arms out in the air. Suddenly, bulges grew on his back, and the green plug suit he wore began to split in the back. The sight before them stunned Asuka and Sensei as white energy began to glow out his back. No. He couldn't. Please don't tell me he's about to sprout wings. Then suddenly, they were 8 feet long. And energy bands that all came out from the same two spots on the boys' backs. They flapped up, and the boy flew towards Lilith. So take these broken wings and let them fly again! Unit 13 put his arm in front of the boy, but the boy just narrowed his eyes and increased speed, slammed straight through their hand and punched the holes through it and continued to fly towards Lilith. Lilith took one look at the boy and stopped floating, and hovered there as the boy flew up above it. It was hovered there for 10 seconds until the boy finally spoke. Not this time. The boy spoke, pointing towards Asuka and Sitsi, are not for you. Do you understand? Lilith nodded. Leave now. You know how PO'd Big J gets when he has to wait, the boy said, smiling. Lilith nodded and disappeared. Everyone could hardly believe their eyes. Only 4 people truly understood what the boy had been talking about, not understanding the second part of what he had just said. The boy looked around him. He had already told people who were watching him, waiting for him to speak, to clarify what he just said. 3 news networks were pointing cameras at him. The boy just spoke out loud. Knowing those of Nerve, Sele, and anyone else involved in the last 37 hours will hear him. My job is done. You are not ready to evolve. If you survive and find total peace in the next few 100,000 to a million years, you'll be ready. The boy then flew towards the sky, and he was out of sight from the world. I think I'm going to stop there. Those first 3 chapters are actually kind of interesting, I gotta say. Linkara's OCs, I'm starting to notice a pattern, are snarky, one-line throwing, overpowered monster god characters that, for some reason, I can't help but love. It's weird. When I have to deal with characters that come from Von Doom stuff, they always feel useless and annoying. But I read one of Linkara's overpowered OCs, and all I can think of is, I would like to see more of them, and I would actually like to hang out with them. I'm guessing it's because, unlike characters like Twilight or Lightning Dawn, Linkara actually infuses these guys with a lot of personality. As I said before, when I first started this yearly tradition of mine, every time that we always have to look back to remind us of our past. And when I look at Linkara's past, I keep seeing hints and touches of what future characters are going to be. And a lot of times I do see a lot of hints of his future Linkara character shining through, be it through the snarkiness of these characters, the insults, or even the deconstruction of certain tropes. I probably won't wait a year to get to the rest of these parts. Maybe I might do some later on, but till then, that was one down, thousands more to go, and a whole new year of a whole bunch of new fanfics for you to read. I'll be seeing you next time.